Hi, Ann Guion here. Welcome to a new series of talks that I'm putting together. It's called Tell Me More About dot dot dot. Well, one of the biggest conversations that dental hygienists have all over the planet today is, can I be an independent contractor or should I be classified as an employee? So let's take a look at what this really means. And actually, this also applies in some cases to like dental assistants and other workers. But we're going to focus on the dental hygiene aspect. So I'm going to pop off right now and we're going to have a short little discussion. So, when we're looking at this issue of independent contractor, why is this done? Well, it's done because it's tradition. I hear from hygienists all the time who say, well, the office said, that's the way we've always done it. The doctor wants it done this way. Well, I did a lot of temping back in 30, 35 years ago, and I faced the same issue. And I would go into these offices and I said, but here's the IRS definition. And I don't think I can be an independent contractor. It rarely was I able to talk them out of it unless it was a long term assignment, but it put me in a terrible position from an IRS standpoint. And also, it really put the employer in a bad position. So, what does it really mean? From a business standpoint, it means less bookkeeping, and it also stops unemployment claims. Now, I have a real thing about somebody filing an unemployment claim after working someplace 1 or 2 days. Oh, come on, get real. But it really saves the practice basically about 30% in fees and taxes. So, a lot of times when there's discussions about things that aren't going well, you can always follow the smoking gun and look for the money. But here's the explanation that dental hygienists are always given. Well, you have to be an independent contractor because you're only working 1 day, or it's not a permanent position, or you're only a temporary worker. Well, all that is simply not true. And why do I say that? And this is where you really have to get armed with the information. You have to understand your Dental Practice Act for the state you're licensed in where you're working in. And this information is going out to my colleagues who practice in the US. I can't speak to other countries. But here's where I did is I looked at the State Dental Practice Act for Texas where I hold a license. And here it is. It says a dental hygienist shall practice dental hygiene in the dental office of a supervising dentist. Notice the word supervising. That's the critical word. Then it goes down and saying, in an alternative setting, again, it says under the supervision of a supervising dentist. Now, that supervision doesn't say it has to be direct, indirect, or remote supervision. It just says under the supervision of a supervising dentist. So we have to, in the state of Texas, practice under supervision. And what you'll find, if you will dig deeply into your state practice act, you'll see language just like that. So you need to educate yourself to protect your license. And guess what? The Federal Department of Labor also has a lot of definitions of workers as well as the IRS. And those two entities function differently. We could talk about that in another session. But the Federal Department of Labor says ignorance of the law is not an excuse to break a law. So it's incredibly important that you know your state laws and the Practice Act. And if there's any language in your Practice Act that says you have to be supervised, you cannot be an independent contractor or a 1099 if you're performing clinical dental hygiene duties. You just can't slice it or dice it in any other way. Independent contractors do not have to have supervision as workers. So that applies to somebody like me as a writer or speaker. All those wages are independent contractor. If I want to be a clinical dental hygienist tomorrow in Texas, I have to work as an employee in a dental office with a dentist who's licensed and practicing in Texas. So there are people going to come back and go, but there's special circumstances. Yes, there are. Colorado has on their statutes an ability for a dental hygienist to open up their own independent practice. Okay, fine, but you have to open up your own business there. If you're in Colorado and you are working under your regular Colorado dental hygiene license, then there are going to be supervision issues that need to be addressed. California has a special classification called RDHAP. These people have special licenses to have their own businesses. Maine, Oregon, and Washington State also have special permits, special licensures. In all of these settings outside of Colorado, these hygienists were able to go out and have their own businesses. They have special permits. They have unique settings, and this often requires additional education. So here's the deal. Most of us who are clinical dental hygienists are not going to be eligible to be independent practitioners, independent contractors. So I know it's easy for you to be told this by an office or maybe an employment agency or somebody, but you're really risking a lot. And so is the office. It's we've really got to get smarter about this and quit accepting employment and quit agreeing to working as independent contractors, accepting wages as a 1099. So I'm going to pop off on right now, and we'll come back and dig into this conversation a little bit more deeply from other facets. But I wanted to just lay the groundwork on why this isn't a plan. So I hope you have a great rest of the day, and adios, hasta luego, and aloha, or whatever's going to happen today. I hope it's just terrific for you. So I will see you next time. Okay.